Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video for GCSE Sociology. In this video we're going to look at another classic text, Losing Ground by Charles Murray. Losing Ground, written by Charles Murray in 1984, is a significant and highly controversial book in the field of sociology. Murray's perspective is grounded in a conservative and libertarian viewpoint, which aligns with the new right view of sociology. In Losing Ground, Murray focuses on the unintended consequences of social welfare programs in the United States, arguing that these programs, which were designed to help the poor, have instead increased poverty and dependency. Whilst Murray is seen as being part of the new right, his ideas align with the ideas of structural functionalism to some extent, as he examines how social policies and institutions function within society. However, his conclusions often align more closely with a neoliberal or new right perspective, which emphasises individual responsibility and criticises government intervention. Murray's methodology in Losing Ground involved a combination of statistical analysis and historical review. He examined data from the 1950s through to the early 1980s to evaluate the impact of social welfare programs on poverty, employment and family structure. Murray scrutinised various indicators such as employment rates, income levels and educational achievement to understand trends and draw conclusions about the effectiveness of government policies. He also reviewed historical and policy documents to trace the development and implementation of welfare programs. Murray used this information to argue that despite the good intentions behind these programs, they have led to negative outcomes for the people they were supposed to help. Murray argues that the expansion of welfare programs in the 1960s, particularly during President Lyndon B. Johnson's War on Poverty, did not reduce poverty as intended. Instead, he suggested that these programs made poverty worse by creating disincentives for work and promoting dependency on government assistance. One of Murray's main points is that welfare benefits can discourage people from seeking employment. He claimed that if individuals received enough financial support from welfare, they may find little motivation to work, as working might not significantly improve their financial situation. This, he argued, led to higher unemployment rates among the poor. Murray also discussed the impact of welfare programs on family dynamics, particularly focusing on single-parent households. He suggested that welfare benefits, especially those targeted at single mothers, inadvertently encouraged family breakdown by reducing the economic necessity of a two-parent household. This, in turn, led to a rise in single-parent families, which he believed contributed to ongoing poverty and social problems. Murray also examined the relationship between welfare programs, education and crime, suggesting that welfare dependency can lead to lower educational attainment and higher crime rates. According to Murray, the lack of motivation to work and the breakdown of family structures contribute towards these negative outcomes. Based on his findings, Murray advocated for a radical overhaul of welfare programs. He argued that reducing or eliminating many forms of welfare assistance and promoting policies that encouraged work and personal responsibility would create long-term solutions to poverty rather than providing short-term aid. Critics argue that Murray's interpretation of the data he used was selective and biased. They claim that he overlooked evidence showing that welfare programs have helped millions of people and that other factors such as economic downturns and discrimination also contribute to poverty and unemployment. Some sociologists and economists criticise Murray for drawing overly simplistic conclusions from complex social issues. They argued that poverty and welfare dependency are influenced by a wide range of factors, including economic conditions, education, health and access to opportunities, which Murray's analysis did not fully address. Critics also highlighted that reducing or eliminating welfare programs could have severe consequences for vulnerable populations, including children, the elderly, and disabled individuals. They argue that welfare provides essential support for those who cannot work or who face significant barriers to employment. Murray's work has also been accused of blaming the poor for their circumstances. Critics argue that his emphasis on personal responsibility ignores the structural and systemic issues that contribute to poverty, such as lack of access to quality education, affordable housing, and good-paying jobs. And some critics have raised ethical concerns about the implications of Murray's policy recommendations. They argue that reducing welfare assistance could lead to increased suffering and inequality, which exacerbates the very problem that Murray claimed to address. Charles Murray's Losing Ground presented a provocative critique of welfare programs, arguing that they failed to alleviate poverty and have instead created dependency and social problems. Whilst his analysis sparked important debates about the effectiveness of social policies, it's faced significant criticism for its data interpretation, simplistic conclusions, and ethical implications. Despite this controversy, Losing Ground is still a key text in discussions about welfare, poverty, and public policy, and has led many politicians to critically examine the impact of government interventions on society. That concludes this Tutor to You Sociology topic video for GCSE Sociology. In this video we looked at Losing Ground by Charles Murray. Thanks for watching.